All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So I've got several interesting stories for you guys in today's video. But before we get started with the news, I wanted to take a brief moment of silence to acknowledge the passing of the golden era bodybuilding legend, German bodybuilder, Jusup Wilcosz. Jusup was a German bodybuilder and a top-level competitor through the 70s and the 80s. He was from Germany. He was the training partner of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was really one of the staples of the golden era of bodybuilding. And recently, on both his Facebook page and his Instagram page, his family put up a post announcing his passing. So I wanted to start this video with a brief moment of silence for the bodybuilding legend, Jusup Wilcosz. All right, now the next story that I have for you guys today, let's get into some actual bodybuilding news here. So this past weekend, we had the return of the Niagara Falls IFBB Pro Show. Now at this show, there was no men's open bodybuilding, but there was Classic Physique and also Pro 212. And both of these divisions had some pretty interesting stories coming out of each category. So first, I want to talk about Classic Physique. In Classic Physique, you had the big return of Rough Diesel, a.k.a. Terrence Ruffin, where I think he looked absolutely phenomenal. Now, to my knowledge, this was, in fact, an Olympia qualifier. So winning this show qualified Terrence for the 2020 Mr. Olympia in the Classic Physique category. Now, Terrence has taken the past year off to really focus on making improvements to his physique. And I think he really came in this lineup and dominated here. I think he really showcased the improvements that he made throughout the past year. We haven't seen him on a professional stage in about a year. He was a guy that was much talked about, a top 6 guy, a top 10 guy at some of the best shows in the world. And he posted an Instagram picture where he says his next show will be the Arnold Classic in March of 2020. And I think Terrence could be a serious contender there to win the show. I think Terrence could be a serious threat to the top 3 at the Arnold Classic, and he should be a guy that's in the conversation for winning the Arnold Classic. I've said it before, I think Terrence has phenomenal posing, some of the best posing and presentation in the Classic Physique category. I think he has one of the best proportioned physiques in the Classic Physique category. I think he has one of the best lower bodies in the Classic Physique category. And I think Terrence, I've said it before, is going to be extremely dangerous at the Olympia. Now that he's announced he's going to the Arnold Classic, I think he's going to be extremely dangerous there. I think he could probably win the Arnold Classic. So congratulations to Terrence. Honestly, I'm very happy to see him do well. I do think he is one of the best talents in the Classic Physique category. I think he has a tremendous amount of potential in the future in this division. So I'm happy to see him qualify for the Olympia. I'm happy to see that he's going to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio in March of 2020. And I'm just happy to see him succeed in general because I think he has made some significant improvements. And I do think he's going to be one of the top threats on the Olympia and Arnold Classic stage in the near future. Now, the other category at this Niagara Falls Pro was the 212 category. Now, in the 212 category, you had Guy Cisternino taking the victory here. And again, I believe the Olympia qualification as well. This show, the Niagara Falls Pro, is actually a pretty historical show, and it hasn't been around for the past maybe 20 years or so. So this is the first year they brought back the Niagara Falls Pro. So I'm pretty sure it is an Olympia qualifier. 99.9% certain on that. So Guy Cisternino came back and got some redemption after placing 7th about a week ago, and not really the strongest lineup when he took 7th. So I'm sure it was a big moment for him to finally win a show. It's been a while. He's had some illnesses. He's had some setbacks. He's had some medical issues over the past couple of years, and he hasn't really had the best placings at all over the past couple of years. So for him to win a pro show and qualify for the Olympia is an extremely big deal, an extremely big feather in his cap. Now, to be honest, I'm a fan of Guy Cisternino for his personality. I like some of the vlogs and stuff that he does. But honestly, I'm not a huge fan of his physique for a 212 bodybuilder. And that's not a knock on Guy. I just think in the 212 category, there's some guys that seriously out-muscle him and just have a freak factor that's way above and beyond what Guy has. I do think Guy has a fantastic physique, but I certainly think there's guys in the 212 right now that have size and density and just a freak factor that Guy just doesn't seem to have to me. Again, I'm a fan of him for, he does have a good physique, but I'm a fan of him for his personality. I like some of the videos that he's done. But overall, honestly, I think he's a little bit small on the smaller side for a 212 bodybuilder. And sometimes when you're on the smaller side like that and you don't come in absolutely peeled, it's not going to look that great in the 212 lineup. Now, when it would come to your advantage to come in smaller would be a guy like Shawn Rhoden, that comes in at like 165 or something crazy like that, but he's shredded to the bone, so he looks bigger and he has a much better stage presence because he is so peeled. So when you're a smaller guy in 212, it's really, incumbent upon you to come in shredded. All right, now let's talk about some more juicy stuff in this video. So we talked a little bit about Terrence going to the 2020 Arnold Classic. Now, on that same note, you guys might be familiar with the YouTuber prankster Vitaly. Now, I did a video a couple days ago about Bradley Martin actually punching this YouTuber at a boxing match, and that video that I did got about 500,000 views. But in a recent podcast, the No Jumper podcast, Vitaly actually announced that he's planning on competing in a men's physique competition. And if you guys have followed Vitaly for any number of years, you guys might have noticed over the past couple of years, he's made a dramatic transformation to his physique. And he's been very open and honest about his use of PEDs, and that being the primary cause for this dramatic transformation that he has made over the past couple of years. And to be fair, for a prankster YouTuber, he does have a pretty impressive physique. So I thought it was interesting, and I'm going to roll the full clip for you guys here in a minute. This was on Adam22's No Jumper podcast. He's talking about competing in men's physique. Adam asked him if he's talking about classic physique. He says, no, it's men's physique. But then he also says he's going on a trip to Argentina the week before the show. But then he goes on to say that the show is in Ohio, and it's in the near future. So to me, that would suggest that Vitaly is going to do the Arnold Classic Amateur in Columbus, Ohio, because there's no other show that I can think of that would make sense for Vitaly to compete in all the way in Ohio. Vitaly doesn't live in Ohio. He's a big celebrity. He lives in LA. There'd be nothing that I could see that would be worth drawing Vitaly all the way to the Midwest besides a show as big as the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. Because the amateurs get to be on stage, on the big stage with Arnold in the background, and they get to have that very high production value of the Arnold Classic stage at the Arnold Amateur. So to me, I think that would be the show he's doing if he references Ohio. So I'm going to roll that full clip for you guys here, courtesy of No Jumper on YouTube.
The lighting. Dude's chiseled right here.
I fucking eat chicken and broccoli. Am I miserable? A little bit, but it's worth it at the end.
But are you working towards getting to a physical state, or do you feel like you're already there and that's what you need to do to maintain?
I think I'm fat right now.
Fat?
It's fucked up.
You have a six-pack right now, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I want to see it.
And you feel fat? Why? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, why not? For the girls out there.
Oh, shit.
More of this on Vitaly Uncensored.
So I'm going to shut it off. I don't know. The lighting isn't good.
The lighting. Dude's chiseled right here.
But actually, you know what's funny? I signed up for Man Physique 2020 just because I have a lot of bodybuilders DMing me like, you should try it, and if you win, it's going to be the greatest story ever.
Is that like a classic bodybuilding type thing? It's not like the super huge monster thing? No,
Man Physique, my 200 pounds.
Because they have all these different categories now.
Yeah, no, the number one, like simple one, just Man Physique. 5'11", 200 pounds, and yeah. And the funny thing is I'm going to Antarctica on a cruise ship 12 days before, so I'm going to fucking be working out in Antarctica on the ship, and if I win, I'm gonna win. It's the greatest fucking story. Flew straight from Antarctica to Ohio to compete.
Wow, that is great. Are you have you?
Now, the next story that I have for you guys today is probably one of the reasons why you guys clicked this video, and that is Shawn Rhoden and his main supplement sponsor, Olymp Nutrition, are apparently going their separate ways, according to evolutionofbodybuilding.net. So earlier this year, Shawn was actually sponsored by Trifecta prior to the allegations against Shawn, and Trifecta ended up becoming the title sponsor of the Olympia itself, and they were really one of the first sponsors to drop Shawn. But Olymp had stayed by Shawn's side throughout all the allegations and all the things going on, with the whole situation about Shawn. And when I had Shawn at my booth at the Olympia, the Olymp crew was actually there with Shawn filming it. So according to this article on evolutionofbodybuilding.net, supplement giant Olymp Nutrition has cut ties with the 2018 Mr. Olympia Shawn Rhoden, according to sources. The reason for this decision is not known, but the allegations against the 2018 Olympia winner could be the main factor. Even though Shawn Rhoden is still innocent until proven guilty, he is still having a difficult time in the bodybuilding industry. This site is informed that distributors of Olymp can only use images and stands with Shawn Rhoden as brand ambassador until the end of January 2020. So the interesting part of this article to me is the date of January. If Shawn Rhoden is in fact going to compete at the Arnold Classic in March of 2020, you would think that a supplement sponsor would want to stick it out with that athlete until that show, at least until that show's over, because that's going to be a tremendous amount of publicity and hype for that athlete, especially an athlete like Shawn that wasn't allowed to compete at the Olympia, and this is the next big show he's doing while having a supplement sponsor. You would think it would behoove them to stick with Shawn until March of 2020 and not end it 2 months before in January of 2020. So I do find that interesting, the timing of ending that contract, although it could coincide with just simply being the end of the year, and that's when his contract is up, or they could possibly renew his contract. Now, some of the stories that this particular site has published on Shawn Rhoden before have seemed to have kind of a negative spin towards Shawn. So I want to give Olymp the benefit of the doubt that they could re-sign Shawn Rhoden in January of 2020. But the interesting part of this article is that it does say Olymp Nutrition has already taken steps to distance themselves from Shawn Rhoden, as every single image of Shawn Rhoden has been removed from their website. Now, I took a quick glance at the Olymp website, and I didn't see any images of Shawn anywhere. If you go over there right now, you probably won't find any either. And I looked on there for quite a bit of time, and I didn't see any images or mention of Shawn Rhoden on the site. So if they were going to renew the contract, you would think they'd at least keep the images until January if they were intending to have some sort of partnership with Shawn in the future. Now, if you look at Shawn's Instagram, he still has Olymp Nutrition in the description of his bio. So he still has a link to their Instagram page right there under, Mr. Olympia 2018 on his Instagram bio. So Shawn seems to be still affiliated with Olymp, but apparently, according to this site and their sources, Olymp and Shawn Rhoden will be parting ways in January of 2020, and nobody really knows why. Now, as always, I wish Shawn the best, and I'm still hoping for the best case scenario to come out of all this. I really hope that Shawn didn't do it, and if he is found innocent, he is completely absolved of all these allegations, and he gets all his sponsorships back, and a bunch of people want to work with him. He's able to compete at the Olympia again. I'm really hoping for that outcome because I really like Shawn. I'm a fan of Shawn, and I really want to believe that he had nothing to do with these allegations, that they're just simply not true. So that's what I'm hoping for, the best possible scenario for Shawn when this is all said and done. All right, now next up in the news, I'm sure you guessed it, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Jusup Wilcosz, has posted another physique update on his Instagram page, obviously hitting one of his father's most famous poses, kind of that side chest with also a bicep pose. Actually, his chest is starting to really resemble Arnold's, in my opinion. It's kind of becoming kind of a running joke on my channel that every time Joe posts a physique update, it's going to be featured in a news video. So I could not disappoint when I saw this one. Definitely very reminiscent of his father. Again, very, very cool to see him pursuing the bodybuilding route. I believe he still has the goal of competing in classic physique eventually. I thought the last interview that I saw of him talking about competing, he referenced 2020. So maybe we're getting pretty close to actually seeing Jusup finally take to the bodybuilding stage with these poses and tear up this classic physique division. So that wraps it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. Give this video a thumbs up. And coming soon, my channel just got approved for channel memberships. So you can become an elite sponsor of the channel now by paying a small monthly fee, like $4.99 or something. If you want to stay a regular subscriber, you don't have to pay anything. But if you want to get some extra perks on this channel, that's what the membership thing will be. It's just another way to support the channel. You're going to get the ability to have this little badge next to your name when you post comments on my videos. So you'll probably very likely get top comment most of the time. You'll be able to post emojis, special emojis in the comment section. You're also going to get a shout out in the credits of every single video that I post. From now on, every single member of my channel will be shouted out, whether it be their name or social media, on the credits when the credits roll of my videos. So stuff like that. I think I'm going to choose like the cheapest option of $4.99 a month for the membership fees for my channel. Again, just an extra thing. If you're not a member, you don't have to pay for it. But if you want to pay for it, you can. So thank you guys for watching. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.